it's Cloudy. How are you all? Today I wanted to talk about my thoughts for Mahouka Koukou no Rettousei. Right now we are at the 12 episode mark, and tomorrow the 13th episode will be coming out. There are 24 episodes in total, which is why I wanted to kind of go through a bit of what's happening in 1 to 12 and then give you my thoughts on what I think is coming up and just in general discuss how the plot's been developing. If I sound a bit different in this video, or if this video ends up looking different when it goes online, it's just because I'm testing out filming with a different camera, so just bear with me for a bit. So far, Mahouka Koukou no Rettousei has covered the enrollment arc, and right now we are at the 9 schools competition arc. Right now we're episode 12 as we've kind of gone into that part where the plot gets a bit darker into the arc, and sooner or later Tatsuya is going to have to take action against whoever is kind of sabotaging the events. Surely it's going to be Tatsuya because he's the main character, and whenever stuff like this happens he's kind of around to like fix everyone's mess. I enjoyed the first arc for enrollment because I thought it was paced fairly well for an introductory arc, and I expected after the enrollment arc for the plot to really pick up because whereas enrollment is a bit more slow paced, it's given the luxury to be slow paced at the beginning because people need to catch on to how the world is, and people kind of need to settle into the dynamics of the characters, their interactions, and in general all the settings and little like minuscule things in the plot. So far all the stuff building up to the 9 schools competition, quite a bit of it has been filler, even though they have been explaining a lot more of the magic stuff, which I'm really enjoying. I found that like some of the high school scenes I just don't want to see. Maybe it's because the magic scenes and the use of magic makes the students seem really adult-like. So when I see them kind of lapse into like a high school random like dialogue, I don't really think it fits, especially with Tatsuya. He's like brilliant. I don't really expect him to like engage in conversation with like other students that much, other than his sister, I guess. It's not that I don't like how Mahouka is going right now. I do enjoy seeing all the magic animated, but at the same time I think Mahouka Koukou no Rettousei is better as a light novel versus an anime right now, because in the light novel the story is told from Tatsuya's perspective, and because it's Tatsuya's perspective we get a lot more of his inner monologue, how he views other students, and just in general his insight in some of the magic or like the other abilities that other students have. And I think this is a really key point in the light novel because Tatsuya knows what everyone is doing. He'll never go up to someone and ask them, what are you using? What spell sequence was that? What activation numbers did you use? Like everything he's seeing and perceiving, he already has knowledge of. So as a light novel reader, you're getting a lot of like Tatsuya's own explanations or the nuances in his thinking, and that gives the plot a lot more structure. Whereas when you watch the anime, it's supposed to be told from like a third person perspective, and when you watch the anime it's almost told from like a really cold third person isolated perspective. Even the light novel describes Tatsuya in third person, but it goes into depth into the narration on his thoughts, which is why third person in the light novel is okay, versus third person in the anime adaptation of Mahouka makes it very distant from the audience. This is especially with the supporting characters. Initially with Tatsuya, because he never gets angry, you do find out why he never gets angry or he never gets really riled up. Because he never really gets angry, he doesn't interact like very emotionally with any of the other supporting characters, which is why in the light novel it's mostly like plot, events, and like the magic world. Everything in the magic world is really complex in the Mahouka world, and in the anime it just doesn't seem as complex just because they only give you so much as you see. In the light novel, it will explain all at once, and it's all kind of laid out for you. For some people, this might be an information dump, but in Mahouka, in this world where everything is so complex and it's like a technology and magic kind of thing, you do need that extra explanation. The good thing in the light novel is you can go back and reread and reread and reread and draw out keywords. In the anime, yes, you can rewatch, but the explanations are not as detailed, and if anything, the explanations are very scant and few and far in between. The anime really does lack a lot of explanations, or they'll leave it and they'll explain it after. But when you're explaining it after, it's like I got to see scene A and then you're explaining scene A and scene B, but I have questions in scene B. I think if you watch Mahouka for the second time and once you've gotten used to the world, you'll figure out more of how the world works, because the world is very technical, it's not just like, oh, one spell does everything. Say, in one of Tatsuya's conversations, he was explaining if he were to move an egg, you need a lot of finesse because you need one spell to levitate it, one acceleration spell to move it, and you also need a de-acceleration spell to keep it from like crashing on the table. That's why flying is one of the really complex problems, because you need a bunch of spells repeated over and over to move back and forth. The Mahouka magic stuff really requires a lot of brain power. The light novels are good if you can go online and look up, just even skim them for like explanations. Also with the light novel, because it is very strictly from Tatsuya's perspective, you're getting a lot of the Shiba siblings' past and their family and all that stuff. It doesn't come up a lot like in the anime, like it is kind of interjected far and in between just because it's like part of the subplot and character development, but at the same time when they do come out, more inner monologue for the characters gives the backstory a bit more depth. Tatsuya is actually a really special character, so I'm looking forward to how they're going to reveal his backstory when it comes to that. Right now in the 9 schools competition, Miyuki is going to be taking over the official Mirage Bat competition. Because it's Miyuki, Tatsuya is going to be especially watchful when it comes to Miyuki in competition. I would actually have liked to hear more of Miyuki's inner monologue in the anime. They could have thrown in some of the bonus manga stuff and merged it into the anime. If you want to know more of how Miyuki thinks, there is a bonus manga that goes into when Miyuki and Tatsuya were first kids. They used to have a very different sibling dynamic, which is pretty surprising, so I would really suggest you guys go and check out that manga if you want kind of like an extra backstory on the Shiba siblings, their family, and the sibling dynamic and relationship. Kind of curious to see how the 9 schools arc will wrap up. The good thing about the episodes is that Mahouka does keep you on track by doing like parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and each arc is like titled, so it'll be easier when we're discussing things in review or whatnot. So anyway, these are my thoughts on Mahouka Koukou no Rettousei. I hope you guys liked them. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Let me know what you guys think below. Mahouka was a pretty high anticipated anime when the spring season was like hyped up. So I don't really know where it's falling right now. It's kind of at one of those points where I'm waiting to see if it's going to go better, it's going to go worse, or if it's just going to develop naturally so that I grow more attached to the characters. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you're still following Mahouka. It's going to be a super busy summer season because we're following Mahouka and all the new summer season stuff. But as I said, I will check in with another video for Mahouka around like episode 18, I guess. 18 or 19, depending on where we are in the plot and how everything is kind of structured. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching again, and if you like this, don't forget to hit like or subscribe for more of me, and a new video will be up very soon, so I will talk to you guys then. Bye!